If I was purchasing a new motorcycle today, this is the bike I would buy, and here's why. For me, the CB1100 represents the retro style of motoring I'm ready to get back into right now. My last retro bike was a 2012 Triumph Thruxton 900. I see comments on my recent videos calling for motorcycles to have 160 horsepower or more. My 900cc Thruxton, actually 865cc's, had 68 horsepower and 53 foot-pound of torque. And even though these figures may seem paltry to some, it had all the power I needed. I ride my bikes all year round, and often two up with my wife as pillion. When touring, my modestly powered 2012 Thruxton performed well and easily coped with the two of us on board. So if my old 68 horsepower 865cc Thruxton had enough performance for me, how does the 2019 CB1100 compare? Looking at the power figures of the CB1100, we see it has 89 horsepower and 67 foot-pound of torque. That's roughly a 30% increase in power and torque over my old Thruxton, and even though the 2019 CB1100 weighs in at 255 kilograms, 10% heavier than my Thruxton, I believe it would definitely feel noticeably more powerful to ride. Another feature I greatly appreciate on classically styled motorcycles is the bench seat. Really easy for rider and pillion to mount and dismount when two up and touring or punting around town. And with the ability to move around on the seat, it's comfortable enough for several hours in the saddle on a day trip. Diving into the CB1100 range, we see there are three models to choose from in some markets. Again, we have the frustrating issue of the complete range not being available worldwide. Internationally, the lineup starts with the more basic and cheaper CB1100, recognised by the previous generation's shape and 17-litre fuel tank. In Japan, it sells for 1,231,200 yen. Or, if we do a currency conversion to see how much that is in our money, that's 16,259 Australian dollars, 11,367 US dollars, or 9,072 British pounds. Next up is the classically styled CB1100 EX, differentiated by more chrome, updated but smaller 16-litre fuel tank, polished aluminium engine and crankcases, 18-inch spoked wheels, 110mm wide on the front and 140mm wide on the rear, European-influenced black rubber fork boots, and the same raised handlebars as the base model CB1100. It sells for 1,338,128 yen in Japan. Currency conversions for that amount are 17,680 Australian dollars, 12,356 US dollars, or 9,862 British pounds. And rounding out the range is the more sporting influenced CB1100 RS. Its distinguishing features are piggyback shocks, 17-inch black alloy wheels wearing a 120mm wide tyre on the front and 180mm wide tyre on the rear, lower handlebars, beefier front forks with radial mounted calipers, and overall less chrome than the EX model. Oh, and there is also a GT stripe on the tank. Japanese pricing on the CB1100 RS is 1,378,080 yen, or converted 18,209 Australian dollars, 12,720 US dollars, or 10,155 British pounds. All three models share the same air-cooled 4-stroke double overhead cam, 4-valve, inline, 4-cylinder 1140cc engine with identical horsepower and torque figures, centre stand, heated grips and 6-speed gearbox. If these very appealing machines were available in Australia, which one would I buy? Appearance-wise, the CB1100 EX is my pick. I like the 18-inch spoked wheels, the additional chrome finishes, and generally the way the bike sits and looks. What I'm not a fan of, however, is the raised handlebars. Although this riding position would be more comfortable around town, past experience has proven this more upright riding position, combined with the lack of a fairing, results in my upper body acting like a sail, causing a feeling of being pushed off the back of the bike. Definitely less comfortable on the highway, where I do most of my miles, and the very reason the Triumph T120 is also not on my radar. And although I think I'd prefer the more comfortable looking seat on the EX, I think I'd have to go with the CB1100 RS. Having lower bars is a must for me. Being a naked bike, you're constantly exposed to wind pressure on your upper body. The lower handlebars of the CB1100 RS allow you to lean into the wind at highway speeds, and in this body position, the wind on your chest becomes a bonus as it keeps you cool in summer and also helps take the pressure off your wrists. Other bonuses of the CB1100 RS are uprated suspension and the more common size 17-inch alloy wheels, making it easier to buy a wide range of tyres for. I really wish the CB1100 range was available in Australia, but all is not lost. As the manufacturer does not import this model, we are allowed to, by law, import one for ourselves and have it compliant for legal Australian road use. The rules are, basically, the motorcycle must be less than 12 months old and have less than 500 kilometres on the clock. So it's not inconceivable to purchase a brand new CB1100 EX or RS from a Japanese dealer and have it shipped to Australia in the crate. There are companies here that check the bike over and make any necessary modifications to ensure the vehicle is compliant to Australian standards. If people are interested, I might do a video on that process and how much you can expect to pay once it's all said and done. If you'd like to see that video, let me know in the comments below.